The Cleveland Browns are an absolute disaster and mdash, and they're only getting worse. A day after, the NFL was still trying to determine how the Cleveland Browns could have botched their pursuit of a quarterback at the trade deadline so badly. First, some wondered how they couldn't have trumped the 49ers' offer for Jimmy Garoppolo. Second, and even more damning, many were still trying to figure out the snafu that scuttled a potential deal for Bengals backup quarterback AJ McCarron. "I don't know how it happens," one NFL executive said. "Because I've never heard of it happening." One theory that was floating around the league: by Monday evening, the Bengals and Browns agreed to rough parameters that would send McCarron to Cleveland for a second-rounder and a third-rounder. Coach Hue Jackson liked McCarron, whom he had coached as Cincinnati's offensive coordinator for 2 years, and wanted the deal to happen. But as the final details were being worked out, news broke that the 49ers had acquired Garoppolo from the New England Patriots for only a second-round pick. Bengals executives worried about how it would look if they gave up more from McCarron than it took to acquire Garoppolo, and so they sent incomplete paperwork to the league and waited until after the Tuesday 4 p.m. deadline to correct it, thereby sabotaging their own pick. Hue Jackson's daughter torched the Browns over Jimmy Garoppolo, continuing a proud tradition. Is that what happened? The dysfunction in Cleveland has made anything seem possible. Some reports surfaced out of Cleveland that the Browns sent a signed document to Cincinnati for the Bengals to sign, but the Bengals sent a document to the NFL with only one signature. That explanation would put the fault on the Bengals. But it doesn't hold any water, the NFL executive said, because it's not how the procedure works. When trades happen, both teams involved send signed PDFs to the league office with identical language, down to the punctuation. The league makes sure they're in agreement, then make the deal official. And so the idea that the Bengals didn't send in paperwork they received from the Browns wouldn't make any sense. Here's the bottom line: they missed the deadline, the executive said. They're trying to blame it on everything but owning it themselves. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. The craziest part is they're trying to defend themselves. Browns trade for AJ McCarron reportedly fails because team too busy celebrating it. This isn't the first time the Browns front office and Jackson have been at odds. Adding to the dysfunction is the number of camps within the Browns executive offices. Sashi Brown is the executive vice president of football operations, and he is in charge. But Paul DePodesta, the former Los Angeles Dodgers general manager and Billy Beane acolyte, has the title chief strategy officer and reports to owner Jimmy Haslam. Haslam has not helped, creating organizational chaos by cycling through coaches and lead executives. The result, by the perception of those within the league, is a disaster. The Browns are 0-8 after going 1-15 last season. They infamously traded out of slots where Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson were drafted, despite having the worst quarterback situation in the league. They could have improved that situation this week, but another front office meltdown prevented it. That organization is full of silos, the executive said. There's a bunch of independent contractors who have their turf, and no one is willing to play in the sandbox together. That's unhealthy. That's how stuff like this happens. It's sad. It really is sad for the city of Cleveland. In San Francisco, Garoppolo made his practice debut for the 49ers. It's no guarantee Garoppolo will play in San Francisco this season, as Cam Inman writes. The 49ers still have to convince Garoppolo to sign an extension, as Dieter Kurtenbach writes. The 6-2 Vikings are going to have to make a quarterback decision soon, Ben Goessling reports. With Teddy Bridgewater having returned to practice, they have until November 8 to activate him off the physically unable to perform list. Meanwhile, Case Keenum has replaced Sam Bradford and steered the Vikings to first place in the NFC North. They'd have a higher ceiling with Bridgewater, but it would be hard to sit Keenum if he keeps winning, even if the credit for those wins belongs to one of the NFL's best defenses. The Browns actually got some good news. Josh Gordon was reinstated and can play December 3, Mary Kay Cabot reports. As Cabot points out, the Browns have gone for 37 since Gordon's last game, which came in Week 16 of 2014. Read more on the NFL. Papa John's owner blames sagging sales on NFL anthem protests and league leadership. Redskins will face Seahawks sound and fury likely with a patchwork offensive line in Seattle.